Welcome back, Outlaws. On this episode, we'll be doing a reverse tie-dye, just like this one here. But I'm gonna be making it on a shirt that my friend Kenny made and gave to me. So I'm gonna reverse tie-dye it and give it right back to him. So stay tuned. All right, now we're ready for this first step in the process of doing a reverse tie-dye on this. So basically what I'll be doing is putting bleach on it, and when the black color is bleached out, we'll be using some dye to replace it. Similar to this here, except I didn't use any dye in here. This is just straight bleach. So we're gonna take half a gallon of warm water, and we're gonna take some sodium bicarbonate. Now you can find this at Lowe's or Home Depot in the pool section. That's probably your cheapest bet. If you order it online, you're gonna pay a little bit more. So we're gonna take a half a cup of this, we're gonna mix it in some warm water so it dilutes easy, and then we're gonna go ahead and soak our shirt in that warm water solution for maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes at the max. That's about all you need to activate the fibers in here so they'll be able to accept the dye. It doesn't have to be exact, just figure out about half a cup, get it in there, and that should be enough. Go ahead and mix it up a little bit. And then let's get our shirt in here. Make sure that it's totally submerged, and we'll let it sit like that for about 10 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back. Now that we've given the shirt about 15-20 minutes of soaking time, let's go ahead and wring it out. You want to make sure that you get all the moisture out of it best you can. You want it to stay kind of damp because that's going to help us when we go to dye the shirt. So let's go ahead and wring all this out. Get as much of this moisture out of here as you can. One thing I did want to mention about using the sodium carbonate is you notice I didn't have any gloves on. It doesn't really bother my skin, but some people may find this really irritating to their skin, and especially have any little cuts on your fingers, you'll definitely feel it burning. So on the air of caution and safety, I would say wear a pair of rubber gloves when you're using this. Now that our shirt's been laying out for a little bit in the air, it's somewhat dry but still damp, it's gonna make the next step a lot easier. And this is kind of fun part for me. We're gonna take a set of these hemostats here. As you can see, they lock in place, and it's gonna make it a lot easier for us to do the next step. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna find the center, and we're gonna pinch this down in here, get a good grip on it, and lock it up. Now, with this being damp as opposed to dry, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to do the next step, which is what we're going to do is twist this up. And as we're twisting it, we're going to make sure that all of the creases stay nice and tight and uniform level. So we're going to have to readjust a little bit here and there as we're going around, and I hope you could see that. As we're twisting, we're adjusting. So we want all these creases to be defined and separated, and all about the same height. So we're going to keep doing this, keeping everything nice and uniform. So take your time and go ahead and keep twisting, keep adjusting. You're going to want to follow out on your sleeves as well, because you want those creases to follow through onto your sleeves, both sides, as you're twisting. Keep adjusting and keep twisting. Move this forward so you can see it a little better. So you're going to want to follow through with all of these creases. Trying to keep them all uniform height as you go through. Bring this around, try to keep all of these up uniform height, keep it nice and tight. Now you're going to want to use 100% cotton shirts, because if you use anything else that's polyester or whatever, the dye is not going to stay in there very well. Okay, we'll take a break right now and get ready for the next step. Made some final adjustments. Made sure it's nice and tight. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take some rubber bands and we're going to go ahead and put them on here like this, so this stays nice and tight. We'll go around the whole shirt, just like this. I'll put the rest of these on and then we'll check back in. All right, now that we've got all the rubber bands on, we can release this, pull this out. Let's flip it over, make sure you can see here in the light, maybe nice tight spiral there. Well, the rubber band's broke, that's no big deal. We'll just put another one on. Even this out a little bit. Okay, looks like we're ready to apply our bleach now. Next, we'll be starting the process in the reverse tie-dye, which is removing the black dye from this shirt on all these ridges that are exposed, leaving the other parts still black, just like this one. Now, I've done that several different ways. I've taken a brush and brushed it on, but I found that the best use of doing, or best process of doing that, is using a little bottle with some bleach in it. So let's go ahead and get this set up and start that process. It never fails. The gardeners always show up across the street while I'm doing this. So what you want to do is, to kind of help protect other things, you want to get something that you can put your shirt on so it's not sitting directly down in whatever you're doing, whether it's dyeing or bleaching. That way it won't affect areas that you don't want it to affect. In this case, I found this old bird cage, and I'm using the tray from that and the rack from that, which works out perfect. It's easy to clean up and easy to rinse. So now we're going to take our little bottle with bleach in it and start applying it to the shirt. We don't want to jet, we'll adjust it so it mists just like that. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. Apply a good coat onto it. And you can see it's already starting to turn a little bit. So we'll go ahead, get it around the sides. See, it's already lightening up on us, just like that. Also, be careful when you're doing this because you don't want to bleach any of your other clothes. So we'll go ahead and hit this side. Now we're going to let this sit for probably about 15 minutes or so. Doesn't have to sit too long. Just let it soak in like that. We may apply a little more bleach. We'll come back and check it out in a little bit. Now, the next very important step in this process is we're going to take some hydrogen peroxide. We're going to put that in the bucket of fresh water. And what that does, you don't need to put a lot, just enough to get it mixed in the water there. What that will do is that'll neutralize the bleaching effect. You want to neutralize your bleach because then that won't let your dye get into the fabric. So we'll go ahead and do that. It'll stop the bleaching process and we'll get that soaking and rinse it out. Now while the shirt's soaking in the solution of hydrogen peroxide and water, neutralizing that bleach, we're going to go ahead and clean our work surface off so that when we start applying our dye, that the bleach doesn't affect that. So I'll go ahead and get that squared away, get that taken care of, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Now I brought the shirt into the work sink, and we're going to continue after it's soaked in the hydrogen peroxide to neutralize the bleach. We're going to continue to rinse this out. Make sure that all that bleach is out of there, and we've got a nice fresh slate to start with when we start the dyeing process. This part's kind of fun. I'm going to be using some of the leftover dye that I had from the last shirt that I made, just so I don't put it to waste. I'm going to be using yellow, orange, red, 2 different types of blue, and a green. Now that the shirt's all prepared and ready, sitting on a clean grate, you're going to want to wear gloves for this one. So let's start with the yellow, and we're going to start in the center, and we're going to make like a little triangle out of it. We're going to do this on the exact same side. Actually, we're going to do this on the opposite side. So we'll start with our red next. Let's go on this side so you guys can see. You're just going to want to make some triangles, just like this. Now, it's not going to be a bright tie-dye. It's just going to add some color to the faded up parts that we did with bleach. So that was actually not red, that was orange. So now let's do our red. Just kind of keep it in a triangle shape. Remember to go down along the sides too. Get your center. We're going to do our blue. And if you do your rubber bands a little neater, you can use those as guides also. And we'll do the lighter blue. And do the green. That way none of this ink or this dye goes to waste. And then we just go ahead and start the process all over again with yellow. And we'll do the orange. And then what we'll do is we'll pick it up and flip it over just off from where we did our last one so we don't mix any of our ink up. Keeping in mind, we're going to do the same process on this side. Once I get that done, we'll check it out. All right, now we got it done on both sides. We're going to go ahead, set it in the first spot right here, and we're going to let it dry for about 24 hours. And we'll check back in, we'll open it up and see what it looks like. Now that it's 24 hours later, and this thing has had a chance to let the dye soak in, let's go ahead and open this up and do a reveal and check it out. This is going to be my favorite part of the video, other than giving it back to my friend Kenny. So let's get these rubber bands off here as quickly as we can. Try to keep it together so we can check it out when it comes out. Check that out. We'll get it rinsed out, and then we'll look at it a little closer. You definitely want to wear gloves during this part. So we're going to go ahead and get all the excess dye rinsed out of here. Once I get this all rinsed out, we'll put it on a hanger and check it out a little closer. Now that we've got it all rinsed out, let's check it out. Here's the final product. I think it turned out pretty good. Now we just have one last thing to do, and that's give it to Kenny. Kenny in his shirt. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. Well, I hope you found the video useful and a little entertaining. And if you'd like to see me do more of these shirts, leave a comment in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.